What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the video. We are talking about Mullen again. We've got some pretty big news, some pre-order information, some options open interest that is honestly very interesting and just gives us a nice outlook of how people are kind of perceiving Mullen, and then also some kind of stuff about Jay Leno that's been going around that I want to make sure everybody has the full story. Jay Leno and Bollinger Motors commercial that happened a very long time ago. I just want to kind of talk about that later in the video. But if you do enjoy this type of content, all I ask is you subscribe to the channel and you turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my future content. But let's go ahead and get straight into it. So Mullen right now is trading for just above 30 cents a share. On the daily chart, we have lost momentum on the MACD. We've seen that negative crossover, and I don't necessarily think that's the biggest concern. This is just a technical indicator. And, if you truly do believe in the Mullen movement, if you want to, this is the time to buy. Now, remember, everything I say is not financial advice, but relatively speaking, the cheaper you buy, the better your returns could be if Mullen can get everything right. Just looking at it on Google Finance, we're up just 0.1% today, very flat. Honestly, very volatile, but then overall very flat. Past 5 days, we are down 23%. In the past month, we're up 11.37%. So we still are in the green from 2022. But let me show you some pretty important news that is good for you to know. So Mullen stock alert. Does Mullen have 3,000 pre-orders for its 5 EV? We scroll down a little bit. Here's a little quote right here from the 10K. Cash obtained from customer deposits is held by the company and is restricted from use to fund operations. Refundable deposits are $289,000 and zero for the year ended September 30th, 2022. And also zero for 2021. But this is for September, okay? So this doesn't include October, November, December, and even now, okay? The Mullen 5 carries a price tag of $55,000 and the deposit is $100. So with all that math, 213,679 of these refundable deposits were attributed to Bollinger. And so that you do this math and you get 75,321 from individuals, you divide that by 100. That's about 753 pre-orders that we can assume are from non-commercial customers, such as an individual, maybe you or me, wanted to go ahead and make a pre-order. That's what that is. But on October 28th, after Mullen's fiscal year ended, the company announced its pre-orders for the 5 had quadrupled. Mullen attributed the order surge to its strikingly different tour, which saw all 9 of his locations sell out, which is a very good thing to see. And this is sort of old news, but I wanted to get this out there in case you did not know. But there is some new stuff that happened. I just want to also give you everything, the point of this channel is to keep you updated on the stocks. But Mullen's press release in Form 10K may imply that the company had 3,000 pre-orders for the 5 as of the date of the press release, this most recent press release, the 10K filing. That would equate to refundable deposits of $301,200. Mullen has not confirmed this and has never released its 5 pre-order figure. On the 5 reservation page, the company says that production is scheduled to begin during the 4th quarter of 2023 with deliveries in the 2nd quarter of 2024. However, in the recently released Form 10K, Mullen wrote that it now expects production to begin in late 2024, which is obviously not the best thing you want to see. We want to see production and we want to see deliveries happening as soon as possible. But this is just the way that things are, and I wanted to give you that information. And I'm not trying to sound like a bear here. I'm just trying to give you that information so you know all perspectives. But here's something else. Mullen stock alert, 10 things to know about the latest 10K. It kind of talks about, the refundable deposits, things like that. Without including the Bollinger Motors, you could assume 2,890 pre-orders, which is a good amount. But then they announced that they had quadrupled. And with this estimate, if you take into account Bollinger, you could assume there's about 11,560 pre-orders for the Mullen 5, which is very good. The company warned, and this is something, I'm not trying to sound like a bear here. I just want to give you this information. In case you did not know this, there is substantial doubt about our ability to continue as a going concern. Mullen's ability to continue as a going concern will rely on additional debt or equity raises, and that could mean further shareholder dilution. So just keep this in the back of your mind. It is important to keep that consideration, especially if you are truly invested in Mullen. You want to know how your investment is kind of being treated and how things could play out. Lastly on this article, CEO David Mitchery received $6.37 million in compensation, but he also got a CEO performance award of 107.9 million shares at a value of $30.07 million, which, in a certain stance, this is pretty good, just in the sense that now he's holding another $30 million worth of the stock, and he does have that interest of providing as much shareholder value as possible, and that does kind of tie him to the stock at a certain sense. So keep that in mind. That is important to know. Now, looking at Mullen's short interest, the short shares available right now is sitting at 1.3 million. I'm I'm going to actually go ahead and refresh my computer just to see if that's the same. Okay, so it has actually changed. It just increased by 2 million to 3.3 million short shares available. You know, earlier today it was at 5.1 million and dropped 250,000. I wouldn't take this as a massive concern. Just want to give you that information. And then the short borrow fee rate as of 9 minutes ago was 17.37%, which is still very high. I know it's not as high as it used to be on Mullen, but this is still a very high borrow fee rate. You know, 17% is nothing small. Now, looking into some things about the open interest of Mullen on the stock, on their options. Okay, the put to call ratio is at 0.1. That is a very bullish indication. Implied volatility right now for this Friday's expiration date is 537%. Okay, the call open interest is absurdly high at 222,000 compared to just 22,000 puts. We're seeing a lot of different things coming in. Okay, look at all the calls that we're seeing on all these different dates. You know, even 2025, we have 113,000. In 2024, 192,000 coming in for open call interests. This is very bullish bets. And just to show you a little bit more on this, option open interest in Mullen climbed 1.4% to 787,000 contracts. The current OI is above its 52-week average of 411,000 contracts. OI percentile rate is in 99.2%. So Mullen has only had a higher open interest on their stock 0.8% days of the year. This indicates that there's a lot more demand to trade and carry positions in Mullen than normal. Open interest increased by 1.7%. The call open interest is up 5% in the last 5 days compared to its 52-week average of 339,000, currently sitting at 727,000. That is a lot high and a strong bullish sentiment. And then the opposite goes for puts. You know, there's a lot less put contracts than normal, 60,000 compared to 71,000 average. So this is even more bullish sentiment, showing that bears might not be willing to take that bet right now. And then the Mullen put to call ratio open interest has decreased by 10.4% to 0.1. Its 52-week average is 0.2. So it's, you know, relatively speaking, 50% below the average put to call ratio, which is just more bullish sentiment onto Mullen, especially in the short term per se. But here's something I want to talk about. People are talking about The Godfather, you know, Jay Leno approving Bollinger Motors, you know, this kind of commercial per se or promotion of them showing Bollinger Motors. You also need to keep into consideration this video was aired almost 3 years ago. It was aired in April of 2020. So that is something to definitely keep in mind. I'm not trying to sound like a bear, you know, bearish news or anything. I just want you to keep that in mind, that this was not published, you know, yesterday or last week, anything like that. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. So if you did enjoy it, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my future content. Thank you for making it to the end of this one. Check out the links down below for free stocks, some free money. Check out M1 Finance. I believe they're doing a $100 promotion right now. So deposit 100, get 100 back. And I will see you in the next video.